and I launched. I couldn't believe within the year I landed that gig with, the Tony Robbins, UPW, Unleash the Power Within London, about 10,000 people. We were in charge of all the video marketing, all the internet web assets, the website, all the, literally 100 plus videos we created for ads and stuff. We sold millions of dollars of tickets. It was pretty amazing. Tony,
wow.
Big fan of Tony, as you can see
Yeah,
here.
that's
Tony, give me aye. All right. Anyway,
sorry to cut you off there, but I would love to see that ad that landed you Tony Robbins as a client. How scalable is your brand and business? If you're a 6 or 7 figure expert, coach, or consultant looking to take your brand and business to the next level without having a huge in-house tech or digital marketing team, and you want to learn the secrets of charging up to 6 figures a client, then you're not going to want to miss out on this next episode of 7-Figure Personal Brand Podcast. Hello, this is Dhruv Patel from Command Shift Marketing, and today we have a special guest with us, none other than Keon Wong, the founder of Star Producer Studios. He's a leading authority on high-ticket personal branding and video marketing. Over the past 25 years, Keon started as a Fortune 100 strategy consultant before entering the tech and media startup space. Most recently, he's worked with some of the biggest brands in the thought leadership space, including the likes of Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Robert Rich Dad Kiyosaki. An Oscar contender film producer, his own videos have generated over 100 million views online, and his clients in the billions. Thanks for joining us, Keon.
Pleasure to be here, Dhruv. Great to be here.
So, Keon, over the past few years, everyone in the coaching and guru space online have been talking about going high ticket. Tell us your story of how you went from working in nonprofit media, getting paid literally nothing, to charging not thousands or even tens of thousands, but up to 6 figures a client for your expertise, working on mega brands such as Tony Robbins and the like. So what's the secret, to landing these huge high-end clients?
All right, thanks for the amazing introduction, Dhruv. So my background, 25 years ago, roughly, I graduated and I got into strategy consulting. It was a spin-off of McKinsey. I'm sure you heard of McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, very high-level strategy consulting work with Fortune 100 companies. I was living in Australia at the time, based in New York now. And then one day I got this phone call. I think it was early 2000, 2001 or so, 20 years ago, my goodness. And it really literally changed my life. I got this call from a friend. I said, hey, you got to meet this woman, Jennifer. She's just escaped. She was in a slave labor camp. And I said, holy cow.
Oh, wow.
This is the 21st century. What what are we talking about here? And she had escaped from China, where my grandparents are originally from. Okay. They migrated about 100 years ago to Malaysia. And then here I am meeting this woman who was going through the horrors of the system that was still persecuting people, right? The system in China, as you know, they persecute underground Christians and Tibetans and Falun Gong and et cetera, et cetera. And she was one of millions of people going through slave labor camps, and she escaped. And I said, what can I do to help her? And she had smuggled her story through a hard disk, a little floppy disk. Back when, if you guys remember, floppy disk days 20 years ago. And it was incredible. I helped her publish the book in English and helped her obtain asylum. And through that process, that journey kind of really ignited a sense of, getting back to what are we here to, how do we make a difference? How do we make an impact?
Right.
And she was being interviewed when we released the book a couple of years in by media all around the world. And one in particular that caught my attention was a nonprofit media group that was based in New York. And they were doing amazing things. They were breaking through the firewall. China is everything's censored, right? You can't watch YouTube and get onto Facebook and stuff, and everything's censored. So, they were breaking through the firewall and getting information into and out of China and stuff. And I was really inspired by the incredible work they were doing. So in 2004, I ended up, heading over to New York and volunteering. I did a pro bono stint of 3 months. And, I was helping with fundraising and strategy, and they were starting an English division. It was in Mandarin Chinese predominantly, but they were starting an English division. And they said, "Hey, Kian, you've got this, funny Aussie accent. Why don't you come and help us with English division?" And I said, whatever I can do to help, and, 3 months ended up being 6 months. I ended up moving over to New York, and it's been 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
Time flies. So I was literally there for 10 years volunteering. Wasn't getting paid a cent. It was a passion project.
Wow.
And I knew it was the time to do it. I was still single at the time, and had the time and the flexibility to really get involved with this movement, and fell into anchoring and hosting and producing YouTube shows, cable shows. I was interviewing all sorts of incredible people. We ended up being from news to entertainment to hardcore documentaries and so on. And
wow, it was like a snowball effect.
Yeah, we were in the early days of YouTube, man. It was so exciting seeing social media explode. We now have 100 million fans on Facebook alone. We're literally doing about 1 billion views a month on Facebook.
Wow. That's crazy.
So in that period, I met this gentleman, Michael Perlman, who was a human rights activist, a lawyer, musician, and he had made this documentary, won so many awards, Tibet Beyond Fear, with Richard Gere. Incredible. Go check it out. And I met him at a non-profit fundraiser, and I said, "Hey, if you want to help free Tibet, you got to free China." Right? So I don't get all political on everyone, but it's about human rights ultimately. And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." And then we shook hands. Let's make a film called, Free China. So we based it on Jennifer's story. This is like literally 10 years roughly after I met her. And it became an Oscar contender, won dozens of, film awards around the world. We showed it in the Congress, United Nations, even in Google headquarters. And it got also picked up by the entrepreneurial world, believe it or not. Joe Polish's Genius Network. Joe Polish is a really big proponent of different causes. And, he heard about this film and how it was, we had breaking through the firewall ourselves, spreading it into China and, creating this buzz and awareness. And he invited me to Phoenix, Arizona, to do a screening. But around that time, I also got married, and I wanted to, obviously, after 10 years of volunteering in New York City, there's only, I needed to get back into some sort of business. Yeah. So I, started up Star Producer Studio, Star Producer Academy, and we initially thought, how can we, help other experts and coaches share their message with the world, right? Especially on viral platforms like YouTube and Facebook. And, after making this documentary and film, I knew the power of storytelling, right? So I just put together a website and my own trailer. I had to tell my story and put it together, 2-3 minute video, and put some websites, some testimonials, and I launched. And I couldn't believe within the year I landed that gig with Tony Robbins, UPW, Unleash the Power Within London, about 10,000 people. We were in charge of all the video marketing, all the internet web assets, the website, all the literally 100 plus videos we created for ads and stuff. We sold millions of dollars of tickets. It was pretty amazing. Tony.
Wow.
Big fan of Tony, as you can see.
Yeah.
Tony, give me eye. All right. Anyway,
sorry to cut you off there, but I would love to see that ad that landed you Tony Robbins as a client.
Yeah, it's not as simple as Tony picks up the phone and says, "Hey, I love your ad. Want to help? Work with us." High ticket coaching was all the fad, right? And I thought that's a good model. I've got a lot to share. I've got both consulting, high ticket sales, worked on 6-figure projects in my consulting world, and I've done a lot of video, obviously, and in front of the camera and behind the camera. So I knew the nuances of the whole aspect of high production video, using selfies, using, whatever you dispose. And importantly, how to put together a team to edit it properly. Right? That's a lot of people get scared about the whole production side of things, but really it's not as scary if you know what you're doing. I never went to media school. I just Googled stuff. And I learned from some mentor. So I thought I could really compress the learning experience for a lot of entrepreneurs so they can get their own, D-Rock, their own media, in-house media team without spending tons of money. All right. I figured there's a way to help others, empower them to create amazing videos. All you need sometimes is one really strong trailer. You're the star of your business. You're the expert in your industry. Right. You should have a trailer, a 2-minute thing. Like what's the most important thing for films, right? When they gross $1 billion, you gotta have
trailers,
trailer, right? You watch a trailer, 2 or 3 trailers, and you're either hooked or you can't be. And then obviously, your reviews, right? Importance of that those 5-star ratings or Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. So we'll get to that later about what type of assets you need, to get these high ticket clients. But here's the ad. I want to show you this. I've found the ad.
Yeah. For sure. Excited to see it.
I shot this in Times Square, New York City. I thought, find a cool location that's a little bit different. I wanted to compress kind of my journey, and there's a formula as well, right? There's a particular formula. In fact, if you stay to the end of this, interview, podcast, whatever, I'll tell you how you can actually get the full transcript to this video. It follows a particular formula that we developed over the years.
Wow.
And different frameworks and it's kind of like an internal manual that we have for our editors. Anyway, so check this out. We originally shot about a 3-minute video, but we tested it and we found that a 90-second was the sweet spot that worked well, in particular for this particular video.
Hi, Kian here from Star Producer Academy. Today I want to talk to you about high impact videos and how it can literally transform your business and your life, especially if you're a mission-driven entrepreneur wanting to share your message with the world, or if you're a coach or consultant or online marketer promoting high-ticket products and services. It's the secret sauce of how I've been able to reach the masses and generate 4, 5, and even 6-figure clients. And it's how I've been able to get invited to speak at places like Google headquarters and the 25,000 per year Genius Network, where I got to present alongside the likes of Shark Tank's Damon John, Joe Polish, and the legendary Jay Abraham. And yes, you will need to still master online sales funnels and webinars, but importantly, video marketing is becoming more and more essential. Now I'm here in Times Square, New York City, because it's actually a very special place for me. It's where I've hosted many live events in front of tens of thousands of people over the past few years. But way before I became this award-winning Oscar contender, film producer, and unlikely YouTube star of all things, generating tens of millions of views online, I was living in this tiny, cockroach-infested, 250 square foot apartment in a neighborhood called Hell's Kitchen. So I always kind of joke, if a dorky, number-crunching dude like me can become this mini celebrity online, then so can you.
So that's basically the ad, right? Call to action. It tells a story, right? Pictures tell 1,000
That's amazing.
words. Videos can tell, effectively. That 90 seconds, you can grab someone's attention. You can see here about 700 comments, a couple 100,000 views. We obviously boosted this as well. Obviously, we had a lot of shares and likes and a lot of organic reach as well, and a lot of interest, as you can see. Send us more info. It was carefully worded. It's that's the key, right? I mean, a lot of it is in the script, but the way I delivered it didn't sound scripted. I was in the middle of Times Square. It's something kind of unusual. I had actually, shot many videos in Times Square through my TV work. And I was telling the story. I'm here in
New York City because it's actually,
the walking and talking, the hand gestures, the social proof that I've incorporated, with, interviewing the likes of, Dr. John Gray, being at Google headquarters, all added to it. And I talked about the importance of high impact videos. And I touched upon the pain point of struggling to get high ticket clients. right? So
Right.
it was the first few seconds I was getting to the meat of it. And I talked to my avatar, which I wanted to work with mission-driven entrepreneurs, right? Just like yourself, right? That's how we connected, and we have this, same passion to make a difference. And ultimately, if you can share your message and your values in a way that really resonates with your tribe, and that's the thing, you don't have to resonate with everyone, right? You just got to focus on who you want to serve. I think that's probably the key, one of the key messages, and condense that in a impactful, high quality video like this one that you saw. And initially, I was getting leads, people, we on a landing page we had very specifically, are you a multiple six-figure, blah blah blah. So we were looking for a particular type of coaching client at the time. We were charging like 6 to 10 grand for X number of months of coaching. And took off, right? And then a few months in, I got this private message from one of the founders of Success Resources, and they're one of the largest event producers in the world. They do about 500 events a year. They managed Robbins, all of Tony's outside of the US events, right? So it's Singapore, London, Russia, you name it, right? So they reached out. They one of the 3 founders said, "I love your videos. I can't get rid of you." He was joking about, because I was just running the same ad. I was boosting it. I was running the same ad on Facebook for a few months. Spent probably tens of thousands, 10, 20,000, whatever it was, and not a huge amount, right? I was picking all these high ticket clients, coaching clients, and he said, "I got to connect you with the 2 other founders." He was a non-active founder, and he connected with Rich and Veronica Town, and then, they didn't respond, right? So this is the thing, right? You want to get a really high ticket celebrity, they're not going to respond immediately, right? So it was actually through a couple of gatekeepers. It wasn't, as I said, wasn't Tony Robbins himself. It was a gatekeeper. And the gatekeepers had the relationship with Tony for 20 odd years, right? And I followed up, didn't hear from them. I followed up with the guy who reached out to me about 3 months later. And he said, "Oh, have you connected with Richard and Veronica yet?" "No, I hadn't." And he said, "Let me reconnect you again." And then that second time did it. Then they followed up, connected, and they checked out my website. They checked out the course that I had created. And I'm happy to, give that away for free if you guys just stay on to the end, right? But it was a course, it was really well produced, in a studio, and it was about high impact video, personal branding. And they were so impressed. They said, "Hey, why don't you speak at the Gary V event in London?" I think it was 2018 or whatever. And I said, let me check my schedule. I'm free. I'm free. All right. So, big fan of Gary's as well, obviously, over the years. When we were building our YouTube channel, he was already a legend with his Wine Library TV. And that was the first big gig. I was speaking on stage with Gary V, and that event, we actually did the trailers and we did the marketing for it. Initially, I just did the trailer for free because I'm in it, because I wanted to promote myself along with Gary V, right? And they were so impressed as, "Hey, we need some help with selling tickets. We've got 2,000 tickets to sell in just 2 months. Can you do it for us?" And I scrambled, find some partners. And that's another secret. You can't do everything yourself. Find really good strategic partners. And I work with some amazing web guys and media buyers, and we sold out the event in 2 months. They were so impressed. I got the Tony Robbins gig, Robert Kiyosaki gig, et cetera, et cetera. So, it all started with just, I think, the right branding, the right messaging, and a short little 2-minute video. So I think, that's something that a lot of people neglect. A lot of people say, "Oh, you got to shoot hundreds of selfie videos or, Zoom live and all that." Sure. But, if you can really focus on a particular avatar and get the right messaging, so long as you've got the right expertise, right? You've got some a real story to share and a message with the world, then there's a particular core set of assets that you need.
Wow, that's amazing. So Kian, where do we go from here? So how do we get that free in-house manual
Absolutely. You just click on the button. I think a button should be, popping up on the screen somewhere. Fill out the form, and then we'll send you our this in-house manual on how to create these high impact videos. We have a full transcript of not only that 90-second video that I created, but frameworks from like the Harmon brothers. We've studied those guys for over the years. They've generated hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, all the way to the Frank Kerns of the world, other gurus who use video in a very specific fashion. Sometimes just one or two key videos is all they run for their ads, right? So we'll send that to you. It's like a 30-page kind of like our blueprint, you could say, our secret sauce. So happy to share that with you all. All right, so that's one thing we can do for everyone on this who've stuck with us. And if you're interested, you can schedule a call with us, right? Because as we mentioned, we're launching a new coaching program where for literally just a few $100 a month, you can learn how to create these amazing campaigns. The websites that we charge literally high 5-6 figures for these gurus that we've worked with, but for just a fraction of that cost, literally a few thousand, not the tens of thousands of dollars that we charge. How to outsource properly. If you want to learn how to do that, if you want to learn how to do amazing automation to create the high ticket sales funnel, you're the GHL guru. All right, Drew, you and your team. GHL is this amazing new, if you thought, creating landing pages and funnels on Active Campaign and ClickFunnels and Zapier and linking everything together is a bit of a headache. Then if you haven't heard about GHL, go Google it. But we're going to be sharing everything that we've learned. You've created what? How many hundreds of websites have you created?
Oh yeah, it's been over like 200 or 300 now. It's been crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
We've also worked on these big 6-figure projects for if you want the iconic website that you've always wanted, and the videos and how to build your own cost-effective. That's the key. Cost-effective.
Yeah.
D-Rock, right? Gary Vee has a full-time videographer. You don't need a full-time videographer. They might need to just pop in once a month or whatever, but you do need a cost-effective video editor who knows your assets inside out, and they can produce the videos that you shoot, whether it's a cell phone or whether it's a fancy you might need a few of these fancy 90-second trailers, etc., or all the way to doing these Zoom calls or podcasts or whatever. You need to build your media team, right? And your digital assets in a digital team in a way that is, once again, cost effective. So if you're interested, just fill out the form, and either Drew, myself, our team will be more than happy to connect. If you're mission driven, if you really want to make an impact in the world, and you're a true expert in your field, would love to see how we can make an impact in your life and your business. So that's it.
Awesome, Kian. That was simply amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your story. I've learned a lot from this short conversation. From literally going from rags to riches, and how you turned that one little experience in your life to be monumental, and that became your purpose later on. And now you have a why that you lead with every single day. So that's really life-changing. And you know what? So this is the reason why we're actually interviewing mission-driven entrepreneurs just like yourself, who are changing the world and are leading with a purpose to make an impact in other people's lives and share their expertise at a higher level.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. All right. Hope to hear from you guys. Just click on the link below if you want to get that free in-house manual, and we'll see you on the other side, as they say.
Yeah. Perfect. Thanks so much, Kian. Thanks for being here.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.